If your orders say Fort Sam Houston, here's the short answer. Most military families land in the Northeast Corridor. Live Oak, Universal City, Converse, Schertz, and Cibolo. That is where the commute, the schools, and your housing allowance actually line up. But the right pick depends on your rank, your timeline, and whether you plan to buy or rent. I'm Christopher Beal, Army veteran and Realtor with Veteran Real Estate San Antonio, and I've walked more than 300 families through moves exactly like this one. Fort Sam is the home of Army medicine, Brooke Army Medical Center, the Army Medical Department Center and School, the Medical Education and Training Campus. Thousands of medical soldiers, sailors, and airmen rotate through this post every year, which means housing near the Northeast gates moves fast, and showing up without a plan costs you real money. This video is the third in my JBSA series after Randolph and Lackland. Today it's Fort Sam, what your 2026 housing allowance actually covers, whether on-base housing makes sense. Which neighborhoods give you the most house for the money, with live sold numbers pulled straight from the San Antonio MLS, and the buy versus rent call for a typical 3-year tour. By the end, you'll know exactly where to start your search before you ever land in Texas. Here's the number that drives everything else. An E5 with dependents at Fort Sam Houston draws $1,869 a month in 2026. An E6 gets $2,094. An 03, $2,127. Every installation in Joint Base San Antonio shares the same rates, so what worked for your buddy at Randolph works here too. Now the rates did drop about 3% from last year. If you were already stationed here before January, rate protection grandfathers you at the higher number, so do not panic when you compare notes with the family next door. Here's what that allowance means in practice. The neighborhoods most Fort Sam families shop sit between the mid-200s and the mid-300s. That puts most of the corridor inside reach of an E5 or E6 allowance once you factor taxes and insurance. And honestly, most people get this backwards. They fall in love with a house first, then try to squeeze the payment into their BAH. Run the math the other direction, start with your allowance, subtract property taxes and insurance, and let what is left set your price ceiling. Texas property taxes are higher than most states, and that catches first-time Texas buyers off guard every single PCS season. Get a real payment quote from a VA lender before you tour a single home. It takes a day, and it changes everything. On-base housing at Fort Sam is run by Hunt Military Communities, about 925 homes spread across 8 villages, everything from renovated historic officer quarters to newer builds. If you want the 5-minute commute and 0-yard maintenance decisions, it is a fine landing spot. But understand the trade. Your entire housing allowance goes to the privatized operator as rent, and when you PCS out, you walk away with nothing. Wait lists also change month to month by rank and bedroom count, so if on-base is your plan, call the housing office the day you get orders, not the day you land. Off-base flips the equation. That same allowance can carry a mortgage instead of rent, and after a 3 or 4 year tour, you own something. A quick aside, because I hear this every week. Some families assume on-base is automatically cheaper. It is not. The operator generally collects your full BAH regardless of the home you are assigned, while off-base you can shop below your allowance and pocket the difference. Where on-base genuinely wins is certainty. Short tours, mid-year school moves, or a spouse deploying right after arrival. There are seasons of Army life where simple beats equity, and I will tell you that straight when it applies to your situation. For everyone else, the Northeast Corridor is usually the stronger long-term play. Let's talk actual numbers, because I pulled these from the San Antonio MLS this week. Live sold data, last 90 days. Live Oak. Median sale price about $247,000, and homes going under contract in roughly 6 weeks. Converse is right there with it at about $245,000, and it is the busiest market of the bunch, with over 470 closings in 90 days. Both sit 10 to 15 minutes from the gate, and both feed Judson schools, where families usually compare individual campuses rather than the district as a whole. Universal City runs about $265,000, tucked between Fort Sam and Randolph, which makes it a smart hedge if your follow-on assignment might keep you in San Antonio. Now the growth end of the corridor. Schertz, median about $350,000 in the Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City School District that pulls families from all over the metro. And Cibolo, the fast-growth new construction market at about $362,000, where sellers are getting essentially full asking price right now. The trade for Schertz and Cibolo is the commute. Farther up Interstate 35, call it 20 to 25 minutes on a good morning. So the pattern is simple. Junior enlisted buying power peaks in Live Oak and Converse. Growing families chasing newer builds and bigger yards look at Schertz and Cibolo. And every one of those medians sits below what the same house would cost you in most other major Texas metros. So, buy or rent. In this market, buying deserves a real look even on a 3-year tour. San Antonio in 2026 is a balanced market. The Bexar County median sits around $310,000, homes take about 2.5 months to sell, and buyers have negotiating room on price and closing costs that simply did not exist 3 years ago. Stack a VA loan on top. 0 down, no monthly mortgage insurance, and the seller can cover part of your costs. That combination is why so many of the families I work with build their first real equity right here in the Northeast Corridor. Renting still wins in 2 cases. If your tour could get cut short, or if you want 1 year to learn the city before you commit. That is a legitimate strategy, and I will say so when it fits. Quick recap. Northeast Corridor first. Start from your BAH and work backward to a price. On base trades, equity for convenience. And in a balanced market with a VA loan, a 3-year tour is long enough to make ownership worth a hard look. If you're holding orders to Fort Sam Houston, reach out before you land. I'll build you a neighborhood shortlist matched to your rank, your schools, and your timeline. No pressure, just clarity. Call or text 210-882-8583 or find me at veteranrealestatesa.com. I'm Christopher Beal with Veteran Real Estate San Antonio. I'll see you in the next one.